So this section we're going to look at installing Windows 10. We're going to discuss introducing Windows 10, Windows 10 editions and requirements, installations methods, upgrading and migrating to Windows 10, and we're going to look at some deployment tools. These are the topics we're going to discuss now. Introducing Windows 10. So you're going to look at overview of Windows client, what is new in Windows 10, benefits of Windows 10 for small to medium-sized organizations, managing desktops in an enterprise environment, Windows 10 user interface. So we're going to look at overview of Windows 10. So Windows 10 has pretty much, this is the interface. Windows 10 is kind of combinations of Windows 7 and Windows 8.1. So Windows 7 was very popular operating systems because of its interface. Navigations was a lot of easier. And Windows 8.1 was not very popular, but Microsoft wants to bring something new, and that's why now they have Windows 10. It has all the program menus as well, and there are some tiles as well. And if we want to do any settings or configurations, we can go to settings. You can go from start menu. There's a search options, start menu. There's a power buttons. This is the settings menu. From here, majority of the stuffs we do in Windows 10. And this is login. If you want to check like who logged into the computer currently, we can find out from here. So what is new in Windows 10? Windows 10 provides many new features and improvements over Windows 7, including start screen and start menu improvements, improved cloud integrations, new and enhanced recovery tools and options, client HyperV, Windows Sandbox, support for multiple device types, bring your own device supports, broadband and VPN enhancements, security enhancements. So there are a lot of features. If someone is a home user, they don't use these services, but in the industry, we need many stuffs. For example, client Hyper-V. Virtualization is very important, and we use Hyper-V a lot. And these days, many people they're using this Hyper-V. Sandbox, that's also a very good feature. So I'm going to discuss how it works. So in the productions environment, people they need these stuffs. Then VPN connections, and then if they bring their own device, how it will sync with Windows 10. So all these things, many different security stuff. So there are new things with this Windows 10. Cloud integrations, that's also like massive. For example, now you logged in locally from this account, and in Windows servers, with that we can log in the domain account, right? And we have another account called cloud. Now these days from the cloud we'll be able to manage all authentications and everything. Benefits of Windows 10 for small to medium-sized organizations. There are many reasons for small to medium-sized organizations to consider Windows 10, such as easier to use, continuous updates, because Microsoft look after the updates. What we have in the update has many security bugs, maybe sometimes new features, sometimes they have some solutions, bug fix, and sometimes they have some security features, which is very important. So those things will be in the updates. So updates is very important. Improved device management, distributions of apps by using the Microsoft Store for business, and more secure. Security is there. We're going to study Microsoft Store as well. So we can do many stuffs. All the device means that this computers and device you can manage with the policy, and that policy can be created in the cloud. So managing desktops in an enterprise environment, simplified deployment of new and replacement computers, consistent applications and hardware across the organizations, simplified inventory, simplified software deployment. So many different way we can deploy these um, Windows 10 machines in the company or enterprise, such as create Windows pre-executions media, create an answering file, deploy an image with the answer file with the reference computers, run sysprep, and capture the image and deploy the image. What is saying, for example, you have a standard Windows 10 over there, right? But the company normally they have a standard set of requirements. For example, you have operating systems, some applications, for example, Adobe Reader, some VPN configurations, Google Chrome, some standard set of applications need to be in the operating systems. So we can customize the image. So you have looked at the image on public documents Hyper-V over there. So that image is we get from Microsoft, but we can customize that image based on the company requirements. The benefits is that as soon as you deploy it, user will have all standard settings. That's the advantages. Now this is the Windows 10 interface. Start screen, a sign in screen, and action center screen as well. So start screen, so normally we using for many different purposes, but login is important. There's a domain login, there's a local login, there's a Azure cloud login. We can have multiple login in here, and all the notifications and things we can manage from here as well. Now let's have a look Windows 10 editions and requirements. So Windows 10 editions and requirements, we have Windows 10 editions and capabilities, selecting a Windows 10 editions, Windows 10 hardware requirements. So you're going to look at all these requirements. So Windows 10 editions, we have a home editions. This is mostly for individual home users. Day-to-day basis, they'll be able to use these editions. Pro editions, small and medium-sized businesses and advanced users. So Pro got like majority of the important informations. In the company or enterprise, they're using normally Pro, and everyone can use. Windows 10 Enterprise E3 and E5, they are they can be used in the large enterprise, only available to volume licensing customers. So Enterprise 3 and 5, this is another editions, and it has some advantages. It will have some extra features, and also update management will be simpler. So that's the advantage we have with this one. This is mostly related with Office 365. Office 365, there's a few licensing, and E3 and E5 license, uh, uh, it's actually covered the Windows 10 as well. Another one is a Windows 10 Enterprise LTSB. Um, that's for the large enterprise, they use this one, only available to volume licensing customers. So the LTSB is a one kind of updates, and this updates uh, is a very specific. They'll not always provide you updates. So for those particular versions, they have a separate updates. So that is the advantage. Then Windows 10 educations, school staff, administrators, teachers, students, only available through academic volume licensing. Windows 10 mobile, users of smaller mobile touch centering devices such as smartphones and small tablets, and everybody can use this Windows 10 mobile. Windows 10 Mobile Enterprise, only available to volume licensing customers. So this kind of editions is important. In the exam, you may multiple choice questions, you may get some questions around that. And selecting a Windows 10 editions, form factor, like a desktop, laptop, tablet, hybrid, phone, Xbox, Surface. They may have a many different device, like a desktop, laptop, tablet. So um, many different scenario Windows 10 can be deployed, maybe for end user, maybe some chaos and shared over there. Management and infrastructure requirements, capabilities, 32 to 64-bit. Um, so this is the Windows 10 where we can um, install this Windows 10, what particular scenario we need this kind of additions, what are the functions Windows 10 can do, and what are the management and capabilities it has, and 32 to 64 bit. So Windows 10 comes with 32 to 64 bits. 32 bits means bit means ones and zero, ones and zero. 32 bits means 32 ones and zeros. Yes, yes. And 64 bit means 64 ones and zeros. So um, these operating systems come in two different um, bit versions. 32-bit means it will be bit slower, but 64-bit it will be bit faster. But majority of the, for example, all our operating system is 64-bit versions because our hardware is 64-bit. But if some old hardware, they are 32-bit. So for those 32-bit hardware, you need to install 32-bit Windows 10 operating systems. Very rarely you'll find 32-bit these days, but still Microsoft has the options. So Windows 10 hardware requirements, minimum recommended hardware requirements, 1 gigahertz or faster processor, RAM 1 GB for 32-bit or 2 GB for 64-bit. Hard disk space 16 GB for 32-bit or 20 GB for 64-bit. And graphics, this is the requirements, and display, this is the minimum requirements. That's the minimum requirements. But feature specific requirements, Windows Hello required biometric hardware. Hello means, for example, they call face detections. For that, you need a biometric devices. For example, my computers, I have like touch. I can. This is a fingerprint. The Hello. That's a yeah. That's also biometric hardware. So if I press this one, my computer opens. Same like iPhone and stuffs, other phones. So Windows Hello requires biometric hardware. Secure boot requires firmware that supports UEFI. Secure boot means this is we have since Windows 7, Windows 8.1 as well. Secure boot means your BIOS will be secured. So it supports the BIOS security. So once you install Windows 10, automatically you can your BIOS will be secured. BitLocker requires a password. BitLocker is an encryption method. We can encrypt the drive. For example, you have a C drive, E drive. So if someone take your hard disk and plugged in somewhere else, they'll be able to see the informations. So you can encrypt with the BitLocker. Client Hyper-V, it requires 64-bit system, so that will not run in 32-bit. Miracast requires supported display and Wi-Fi adapter. Miracast is kind of like a Chromecast. Chromecast? With the Chromecast, for example, I have my in my mobile, I have um, in my mobile I have something, so I want to display this on the TV. So that's actually casting, right? That's kind of like a Chromecast. So Google has a Google Chromecast specific device. And in here, Miracast is mentioning that, for example, I want to display my laptop to some other device. That is called Miracast. Miracast means I'm this information I'm casting in another TV or somewhere. Google has a Google Chromecast. Wi-Fi Direct requires supported Wi-Fi adapters. Wi-Fi Direct means with that you can use as this particular device you can use as like a hotspot. Like your mobile phone you can use as like a hotspot. This one you'll be able to use as like a hotspot. So these are the few informations, but we're going to look at everything from the once we install our Windows 10 machines, we're going to look at all these things. Now deployment options. We're going to look at overview of deploying Windows 10, installations methods for Windows 10, the process of installing Windows 10, activating Windows 10, and considerations for new deployments. So overview of Windows 10 installations methods. We can do wiping and load. Wiping and load means completely we can remove everything and then you can load the new one. That's one thing we can do. We can upgrade. Upgrade means if you have a old versions, for example, you have a Windows 7 to or Windows 8.1, you can upgrade to Windows 10. Many people already using the Windows 10, but still some people they're using Windows 7. The reason why in the company they have a specific applications running in the computers, like there are specific set of setup, group policy, and many different security stuffs is already set inside the device. If you upgrade to new versions, it may make a lot of issues. That's the reason many companies still they're using the Windows 7. So old versions of operating systems many people using, and Microsoft is not supporting, but company has the options. Company they contact with Microsoft and they purchase the separate support pack for those Windows 7. Then upgrading applications compatibility, that's also important. What kind of applications you want to run or use, based on that you can install the Windows 10 machines. Browser compatibility, that's also important. What kind of browser you want, based on that you can install the Windows 10. But these days majority of the browser, Internet Explorer, I think new versions of Windows 10 they don't have. They have only the Microsoft Edge. um, so, because it's all related with applications. Some people, they have in-house built applications, and to run those applications you need a specific browser. So that's why compatibility issues need to be checked. So installation methods for Windows 10, we have done in place upgrade. In place upgrade means same servers or same PC you upgrading. You have a Windows 7, you make Windows 10. New deployment. New deployment means is a clean machines you are deploying new. Refresh. Refresh means you already have the operating systems. You can kind of reinstall over there. Provisioning. So we add many other tools with your Windows 10. Migrations, wipe and load, and side by side. And this is the Windows 10 installation options. So in our scenario, we're going to install the Windows 10 machines. Okay. So first thing, if you want to install, there are a few options. One is we can completely wipe everything and we can install. That's one options. But you can install in the top of the Hyper-V as well. Okay. Have you used any virtualizations before? No? Okay. So virtual machines is, for example, now we have only one computer, right? And top of these computers, now if I need another computers for example, any purposes, testing purposes, or I want to use that, so I need to use another computers. But instead of doing that, I can create, virtual computers inside this, computers. And for that, we using the features in Windows feature that is called Hyper-V. Okay. Hyper-V is there's many other vendors, they have different things. Hyper-V, VMware, um, Oracle has Oracle VirtualBox. With Oracle VirtualBox, that one top of that you can create the virtual machines. So different vendors, they have this virtualizations capability. But in our environment, we're going to use Hyper-V. So Hyper-V is features, and we have is already installed in these desktop computers. So let's have a look how to install this one. So go to tools. Let's open our Hyper-V Manager. So once you open Hyper-V Managers, then from that we'll be able to install the Windows servers or Windows client machines. Just give me one moment. Okay, I'll create later on. But you click, see on the right hand side, you click new. Yes, yes. Yeah, that new uh, virtual machines, correct. And then click next and name it Windows 10. Name it Windows 10. You have anything called Windows 10 or not? What is this? So you turn off the other VM because you don't need those VM. Right click and stop them. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, they'll take a lot of resources. Okay. So you type on and click next here and see generation 1 and generation 2. If you want to create a 32-bit operating systems, you can choose generation 1. Otherwise, you can choose generation 2. So click on generation 2. Generation 2 is the new versions. Click next. And you got the RAM is selecting 1024 for everyone. Make sure dynamic is ticked. Nice. Click next. Dynamic means it will not take all of your 1 GB memory now. It will take as needed basis. And then we have the networking over there. If you can you see anything saying private? Yes, select private. Private one. Private one. Yes, yes. And if you do not have anything, leave it blank. You can connect later on. Click next. And then you can see this is the yes, hard disk, right? It's saying it will take 127 hard disk, but actually it will not take right now because it's a dynamic. It may take 10 GB or something, but maximum it will take 127. Then click next. After that, we click on installations in here, the middle one. Yeah. Let me check mine one now. Finally it came up. So in here, I'll click next virtual machines. I'll put name Windows 10, click next, generation 2, next, take the dynamic memory, which is 1024, next. You can connect with a private network or leave it not connected, no problem. Later on, we'll be able to connect. Now after that, virtual hard disk, Windows 10. Uh, this is dynamic, it will not take all this space right now. It will take add needed basis. So then click next. Install operating system from bootable image file. Click browse. And then C drive, users, public, public documents, and then we select Windows 10 ISO. Okay. And then click next and finish. After that, we right click connect, and then start. Once you start, it will give you some options to press anything. So it's saying virtual boot summary, this network address SCSI, no operating system was loaded, right? You get something like that. So you click on restart now, or restart now is not working. See, there's a button in here in the corner. There's a keyboard button. Yeah. Click on that one. Then after that, you need to press something. Yep. Okay. And click again and hit this button and press something. Yes, that's it. So you need a short time. Okay. After that, we need to follow the prompt. So in here, time and currency format, we change to Australia. So we put E here. English Australia. So we put E 5 times, you'll get English Australia. And after that, we click next. And then install now. Everyone in the same page. So say I don't have the product key. And after that, we select this many editions in here. We select Windows 10 Pro. And click next. And accept the license. Click next. And then you have a upgrade or custom options, right? We're going to select custom. Upgrade means you upgrade from old versions to new versions. Otherwise, you select custom. Click next. And then it's installing. Okay for you? Yep. Okay, so click OK. It just tried it. Okay. So click OK and try from here. Not on that one. Okay. Click here or stop this one. Close this one. Close. This is stop one. Yes. Turn off. Try start again. And this is something. You try a couple of times. It will work. Sometimes it's play up. Especially if it's a new machine. It's thinking different. First one. It works now. Same thing. So that's the Microsoft stuff. So all right, so mine one is doing good. Cool. So that's how you do the installations, and these days majority of the installations you do in these virtual machines. But the way you did in virtual machines, physical machines, all you have to do, if it is a brand new any laptop, you do clean installations, you need to at first you need to insert this one, and after that press F12, and then it will take you to the boot menu, and over there you just need to select the bootable USB. It will, all the prompt will come up automatically, and then you get these all these steps. So the installations is pretty similar. Now go back. So activations, Windows 10. Activations confirms product and product key status. Activations established a relationship between the product key and an installations on a specific device. The three main methods for activations: retail, OEM, Microsoft volume licensing, volume activation models, Active Directory based activations, KMS, and MAK. So there are few different options. So activations means if you purchase something, automatically you'll get some license. And some license provide from, for example, you purchase the device from Dell or HP, you'll automatically get this OEM. OEM stands for original equipment manufacturer. So they will activate for you. Retail, OEM, Microsoft volume licensing, mostly the people who sell this kind of like hardware device, they deal with these things. Like this is the purchase option, so you can purchase from there. And how to activate, we can activate these things. Normally if you have only few computers, you can go to settings and you can apply this code. In this way you can apply, right? But if you have a domain environment, we can have Active Directory based activations. KMS, which is Key Management Services. MAK, that is called MAC, Microsoft activations key. So there are, sorry, multiple activations key. So there's a few different way you can do. Active Directory and KMS, they work mostly in the domain environment. And MAC is a multiple activations key. Multiple activations key, for example, you purchase 20 licenses from Microsoft, so they'll give you only one key. And when you create the image, with the image we can add those product key. And after that, if you do many installations, all the computer will have Windows 10 machines, but they will have a same product key. But as soon as they will connect to the internet, they will update the new product key. So that is the multiple activations key. So considerations for new deployments, deployment scenario. So we need to understand deployment scenario. For example, whether it is only few computers, whether you install in the physical device or virtual machines you're creating. So deployment scenario is important. Then operating systems architectures. Required drivers. What are the drivers is required? Then storage, network, like how much storage is required, what are the drivers means when computer hardware and software they communicate you need a driver. For example, you connect a new USB, so these USB will communicate with your operating system, and for that you need a driver as well. Any keyboard, mouse, any external things you connect, they need a driver for communication purposes. Storage, you need a sufficient storage. Then network connectivity need to be there, operating system features need to be there, licensing and applications. So all these things need to be there. What are the applications you're going to deploy over there? What are the licensing features you have? What are the operating features you need? So all these things we need to consider when you do the new deployment. So we're going to look at a bit more details about that. Next sections we're going to talk about upgrading and migrating to Windows 10. Let's take a 10 minutes tea break, and after that we're going to discuss these topics. Everybody got this window? Yes? No? What happened? Oh, sorry. What is the percentage? 41. That's fine. That's fine. It's doing this 1,000. That's why it's showing. Hmm? Okay, okay, okay. So someone is getting lost, right? Okay, yeah, because it shouldn't be like that long. Okay, so after that, once it's done, then click yes. Okay, then after that keyboard, you leave like that, US keyboard, click yes. Then what about second keyboard, skip. Urine is like that, or okay? So then do I don't have internet yet? That's fine. Continue with limited setup because later on we can configure. Okay.
The keyboard US
Which one? Yeah, keyboard yes. Yeah. Skip. You came to the same place or
Yeah, it again came to the same screen.
just connect to the network? Just say I don't have anything limited yet. You shouldn't go back, but yeah, now you're saying who is going to use just put admin.
Admin capital.
Or just put your name. It's okay,
Okay.
because we did it at the end, so just put your name and then password will be just that one. Okay. Limited. I don't have the limited setup. Continue with limited setup.
no, this one.
And getting better now. 98% left. And then after that, in here, you need to put security questions. You picked up any questions, and answer will be password.
Okay.
This one, yeah. Answer, just put password.
Capital, small.
Small, all small. Just put password. And select second questions. Also put answer the password.
What stuff are you using?
Hmm?
What stuff are you using?
Too close. What is running now?
No, sir, it's not in microphones.
Open group. Turn on this one. Your everything is okay, like your disk space. Yeah, critical disk space. See, everything good. You just need to remove many things. So we go to HyperV. This VM1 will be delete. Okay, the other VM.
This one is already installed. The thing is.
Delete this one as well. So keep it only these two maybe. How about delete everything? And then go to that public documents. and don't delete these things, but you get here. After that, you go to recycling and then from there into recycling. But it's still 64 GB. How don't have any temporary file. Plus, there's all these things. Okay, see, you can create a couple of them, but we'll figure out how these things. Okay. Now you create again. So go to HyperV Managers. And you should be fine. Okay.
What's the language in the name?
Put your name and password into your default password. And in here saying, do you access the activity still instance? Just say no. Say accept here. This is, it's okay, you can say accept. Now I don't have the internet. Continue limited setup. Everyone is going good now? And all the security questions, any questions you picked up, but answer will be just password. Okay. Okay, so after that it will install. So this process need to be done, but if we customize the image, then you don't have to go through whole lot of things. There's many things can be avoided in that way. And also at the moment we select the operating system as um, personal use. That's how we get one kind of like questions and answers. But if you select domain joint, you'll get some more different options. If you select for the company, you'll get different options. But standard things you just need to follow and then install. Follow the prompt and install. There's no bad things or good things in here, just whatever requirements you have. They offer something, just you can accept. For example, this is, if you take, then they will get some informations from the device for you know experiment purposes. But if you say even no and click accept, that's um, doesn't really matter for your work. Okay, so it will take few minutes. So let's move on with our things. By the time your installations will be done. Now, lesson 4, this sections we're going to talk about upgrading and migrating to Windows 10. Upgrading and migrating to Windows 10, we're going to discuss the process of upgrading to Windows 10, supported upgrade paths, the process of migrating to Windows 10, considerations for choosing between upgrade and migrations, common upgrade and migration scenarios. So these topics we're going to look at now. The process of upgrading to Windows 10, um, we have few things. So at first we need to evaluate. Evaluate means we need to check whether upgrade is supporting or not, because when you do upgrade we need to have some operating system matching, addition matching. For example, if you have a 32-bit, you need to have a 32-bit operating systems. If you have a 64-bit hardware, you need a 64-bit operating systems. So at first you can backup is important, because if something goes wrong with your new installations, you can go back to the old installations. And after that you can upgrade, and then verify, and then update. Upgrade means, let's say you have a Windows 7 that you upgrade to Windows 10. That is a upgrade. And update means a regular, features. For example, some new features released, or some bug fix released by Microsoft, or some security updates from Microsoft. Those things you need to install. So once you have new operating systems, after that it will take some updates. Now, supported upgrade paths, we have Windows 8.1 update, Windows 8.1 RTM. This is the initial operating systems: 8.1, 8, RT, Windows 7 Service Pack 1, Windows 7 RTM. So RTM version is kind of like mobile versions. Okay, final operating systems from all Windows 7, 8, RT, RTM, you'll be able to update to Windows 10 machines. And you can use ISO file. ISO file means that file we have in that public documents file, right? That is the ISO file. You can download this. This is a free download. You can download this file from Microsoft site. You go to Google and search for that particular ISO image. You'll be able to download from that. Then you have a Windows update. There's a direct upgrade not supported, direct update not supported. So update means upgrade means now Microsoft doesn't support anymore. If you have a 8.1, 8.1, and 8, you cannot simply upgrade. Direct upgrade not supported. Not supported, because this is mobile phones, right? So mobile phone is not supported. If you have a Windows 7 Service Pack 1, direct upgrade is supported, but any RTM versions it is not supported. Some features might be removed when upgrade to Windows 10. So that's definitely something. When you upgrade, then maybe many features may remove, some new additions will be there. The process of migrating to Windows 10 at first should have a backup. From backup we install Windows 10, and then update, and then we install applications. For example, you need a TeamViewer applications, you need a Cisco packet tracers, or you need a Adobe. So those kind of things you're going to um, update in here, and after that you can restore. That's a very good options. So customized image mean you can have one thing, you can have a customized image, or if you want to migrate means you need to have a backup to Windows 10, and update, install applications, and then restore. So when migrations happen, if you purchase a new device, for example, this is your um, new operating systems, right? You install this one from the backup. After that, you do the update and install operating systems and then restore. So there's a upgrade and migrations, two different things. Let's have a look. There's a two different things we have. One is called upgrade and other things is called migrations. Upgrade means you may have old computers and the same computers you update to new one. It will happen to same computers. But migrations means you have a old computers, new PC1, and then you purchase a new PC2. Then you migrate everything over there. So in this case, it's saying that you can put a backup, and from that backup, you can restore PC2. Backup means what are you going to backup? Maybe all the files and some services. Maybe you backup maybe some files, applications, some specific settings. These things you put a backup. There will be under backup. And once you have a new Windows 10, for example, this is our new Windows 10. So we'll be able to restore everything in the new Windows 10. Simply, we'll be able to copy. Now, same things we'll have in here, but old machines was, let's say, Windows 7. So many company is still there under this migration process and stuff like that. So if you work for a company, you may need to sometimes you may need to do this kind of things as well. But upgrade means same thing. Upgrade means you have a this one is a Windows 10, oh sorry, Windows 7, and you upgrade to Windows 10. In this way, you don't have to do any backup. Normal backup you need to have, but you don't have to do anything because you upgrading over there. Okay. Cool. Now this is the upgrade and migration things. The process of migrating to Windows 10. So once you have a new installations, and after that, if you want to migrate your old all the settings, applications, and all these things, so you can migrate in this way. Because let's say my computer, I have hundreds of things in here. So if I got a new computers tomorrow, I don't want like everything reinstall one by one. It's nightmare, and after that I'll not find which file was where. So best thing is migrations. If I can migrate, then if I get a new one, it may take time. So IT people, what they do, they migrate everything in over there, and you just get your computers ready. So migrations will be always there because people upgrading and purchasing new hardware device. So always migrations options will be there. So let's have a look in here. Considerations for choosing between upgrade and migrations. Advantage of in-place upgrade. In-place upgrade means same device, right? Retains user settings, application settings and files, preserves installed applications, does not require additional storage space for migration files, affects user productivity minimally, and preserves user settings and data. Provides a simpler set process. Rollback is available in case of a problem. That's the advantages. Disadvantages. cannot start with standardized reference configurations. Preserved applications may not work correctly after upgrading. What is saying, for example, I purchased a new one. After migrating, it should work, but sometimes it may have some problem as well. Remnants files and settings may contribute to performance and security issues. Even if you upgrade, it will keep something in the history. So those things may make some problems sometimes. Those things may cause some security issues as well. Does not allow for additions changes. Is only available on supported operating systems. Computer must meet the minimum hardware requirements. Right? Same upgrade means you need to have operating system need to match as well. Then you can do upgrade. Normally, yeah, I have a different method of doing update. I do with the um, for example, that operating systems you have a less disk. Now, if you want to update to a new disk, so but we want same settings. So the option is um, we can copy everything to new disk. That's what we can do, and for that there's a specific backup software. With that, we can copy the entire thing to another device, another disk, and then you just replace the disk. That's another options. We do a bit of things around that, yes. So yes, this is the upgrade. And then what is migrations? Migrations means offers the opportunity to clean up existing computers and create more stable and secure desktop environments. Sometimes is need. For example, we clean up these things and then we make space and things, but still it may have some other things which you could not see because it should take only 20 GB space, but it's taking 50, 60 GB space. Not sure what happened, but you know that that things is not important. But if you do clean installations, everything will be new. That is the advantage. So it allows for installations of new editions regardless of the previous versions that was running, provides the opportunity to reconfigure hardware level settings before installations. Malicious software does not migrate to the new installations because some old things may be sitting there. So those things will be removed if you clean installations. Malicious software means maybe you don't know what is over there, maybe some software is there, right? So if you do clean installations, then that means it will be removed. Sometimes after clean installation, some soft like malicious software, like some software get installed, even is hard to removed. And software they install in the BIOS as well. BIOS means before you install this operating system, this hardware device, it has some interface. And for that we have a UEFI. UEFI features, what it does, it's actually prevent any unwanted, installations over there. For
It has
example,
more of the booting options and everything there in the BIOS.
in the BIOS, yes, you can go to BIOS by pressing, I think, F2. Yeah, with the F2 you can go to BIOS. But if BIOS get affected, then you'll have a big problem, right? So migrations, disadvantage of migration means requires the use of migration tools such as USMT. If you want to migrate from one device to another device, we can use the user state migration tools. USMT stands for user state migration tools and requires storage space for user settings and files to be migrated. May impact user productivity. Okay, so this is very important. Upgrade and migrations, you definitely get a questions around that. So migrations tools, you need this one, but this is disadvantages because it's not simple to use. It's you need to know all the commands and everything, then you can use this one. Previously we had a one tools called Windows Easy Transfer, but that one is not there anymore. Some deployment tools. Deployment tools, deployment options for Windows 10, imaging and autopilot, client virtualizations, deployment strategies, deployment tools, and user state migration tools. Now we're going to discuss around that. Imaging. Imaging means creating a snapshot of reference computers and deploying to multiple devices. Traditionally used to support scaled deployments with the consistent configurations, can be completely automated. Images can be complex to create and manage. Windows Autopilot so reconfigures a Windows 10 client to an out-of-box experience while applying configurations and applications. Imaging means, for example, you already have standard settings over there, right? In the company, you have hundreds of people, and maybe one person left the job, another person joined in the company. So you need to have a standard set of configurations. Every time you don't do configurations again and again. For that, you should have a standard image. And image is a snapshot. What is a snapshot? Snapshot is a pictures, right? So that's a snapshot. With that snapshot, mm, yeah, that's a snapshot. Snapshot is a pictures. You're taking the pictures. So Windows Autopilot. Autopilot is another configurations. Autopilot means um, this is we can use these tools via Windows Intune. Windows Intune is another Microsoft product that is a cloud-based product. Over there, we have one option called Autopilot. In Autopilot, it has some policy. So how it works, as soon as your computers um, get some installations, it will connect with that Autopilot. And with that, after that, it will get all the policy from the Autopilot. So that means once your computer is ready, it will already get all the policy and everything. Currently, we installing our operating system, but manually we configuring everything. For example, time zone, password, security questions, and many other things. But those things will be configured. Additionally, some applications, some policy will apply to these computers. That's the Windows Autopilot. And imaging means traditionally, like manually, you can configure. For example, you can customize image. You have some customized image you can configure, or like let's say you have an image, you can take a snapshot of that image and create a customized image, and then you can deploy to the entire organizations. Both options we have. And the thing we have a client virtualizations, client Hyper-V. Client Hyper-V is a Windows feature that enables virtualizations, runs multiple operating systems on a single physical computer. Client Hyper-V features shares features with Hyper-V in Windows servers, support for 32-bit and 64-bit VMs. Client Hyper-V management tools, we have a Hyper-V Managers. virtual machines connection tools, Hyper-V module for Windows PowerShell. We already have the client Hyper-V, isn't it? That's we already installed over there. That's the features, um, and that's the 64-bit client Hyper-V features we have. Sandbox creates a pristine Windows 10 environment on the client. Does not require setup for Hyper-V or VSD. Temporary. All changes are lost when the sandbox is closed. Must be enabled in Windows features. So sandbox is very good features. Sandbox is, for example, because those who did the, oh no, you haven't done that. Okay. Sandbox is kind of like it will provide you the exact same environment in another window. For example, you have done many things. It will create one of the instances of your configurations. So sandbox is very interesting thing. So let's have a look. If you have a Windows 10 machine, maybe in the virtual machines it may not work, but you have your actual machines. Go to search options.
Actual one.
Yeah, actual physical host machines. And start sandbox. Shirisha, you may not have that one because that's not a Windows 10 machine. This is something, but if you look this one. Can you see anything? No. Okay, so turn Windows features on and off. You remove that one. Remove these things. Everybody search for turn Windows features. Or type Windows features. Yeah, that's is already got that one. Yes, that one we're looking for. Correct. Click on here. Open. Search in here. Yes, excellent. Yeah, sandbox. Looking for sandbox.
Yeah, Windows Sandbox.
Yes, let's install Windows. Take that one. And can you see the Hyper-V? We installed the Hyper-V. This is the Windows feature. So if you want to add any additional features, you can do from here. Windows Sandbox. Yeah, tick that one. Click OK. It may ask you to restore the machines, but right? Windows Sandbox don't have. Go down. Maybe it's missing some update. Oh, because you don't have internet. That's why. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I have one of the link in here. Maybe you just will connect this one. Okay. You could grab this one. Just pass it to him on this side here. And that one moment, I'll give it to you. Just 1 second. I'll fix later on, but at the moment that should be fine. Yes, should get connected. Yeah, already got the connection space. And after that, you have to, oh, not yet. Is it? Yeah, it's blinking. So you could, you will soon you could, and you open your HyperV managers, HyperV managers, virtual switch manager, and click on private, create new, name it private. Okay. Now you right click on this one and settings. You can restart if it is asking.
Okay.
And select this one and connect to the private switch. That's how you connect. Oh no, private. If you connect, then it will not work. For example, sorry, cancel this one because you got the internet connections. Okay. Yeah. But virtual machines, okay, we'll deal with that one later on. But because this machines is not updated, I guess that's why. What do you do? Windows Sandbox. This one will update. Sandbox. I think is the one of the updates is related with the sandbox. Once you download that update, then you will get that one. But in your new window, this is your Windows 10 is ready already.
Yes.
Oh, this is so fast. Now who was yeah. Try search over there. Say sandbox. Oh no, it's not connected with the internet. But we need to connect to the external switch. Then it should be fine. So you go to Virtual Manager, Virtual Switch Managers. Yes, create external switch. Click on external. Yes, that's fine. Yes. Oh, you already have external switch, so that's fine. You don't have to create. Click OK. Right click on your VM and settings and link card. You connect with the private. Just connect with the yes. Select. Connect with the external. I think it's new one. That's why it didn't go here. Settings. Updates. Some all having installations. Is it doing something or not? Not yet. Go down a bit. Okay, if you go down and then see if the update options or not. More. And then go. Maybe you just restart your computers. Yeah. Because as soon as it will connect to the internet, then it will contact with those servers. You can log in. Yeah. Oh, your sandbox is ready. So maybe you work with this system later on, but how you can log in.
Admin or user.
And you can see that this is the sandbox. See, exactly same another. It's not a and it's got an internet connection as well. Interesting. See, this is the Windows sandbox. It's not. It's like it looks like a virtual machine, but it's not virtual machine. It's just like a. It will give you the one of the instance, and you can have all the configurations. Like it's got IP address. It's got Microsoft Edge, then download documents, video, picture, this PC. Very interesting, right? It's got everything. Quickly give you the environment. So if you want to do some experiments, then you can do those systems. So if you search for Windows Sandbox, Windows Sandbox, or just simply type Sandbox. Sandbox. Yeah, this one. Yes. That's mostly for the experiment. But sandbox, if you do something, you can check something. But if you close this one, that environment will be deleted. It will not keep anything. Okay, that's the sandboxing. Mostly these days, developer they need to test something, or like IT people they need to test something. For that purposes, they need this sandbox. So Minal, you did some coding and stuff. So
Yeah, and Java, JSP.
okay, okay. So with the Oracle, you developed, or
I was a developer. If in case a new project comes, then right from scratch, how to build a database, what should be the structure of tables,
okay.
user.
So you okay with the PHP,
No,
MySQL? No, you
no,
didn't do the.
no. SQL part, basic commands, some I know, but not into server side, hardware side.
Oh, okay, okay, cool, excellent. Now deployment strategies: high touch with retail media deployment. Insert the Windows 10 DVD and run the setup program for a manual deployment. That is like normally we do with the USB stick. This one has a bootable disk we can install, and in this way we can install the Windows. Many different scenario we do this one. Light touch deployment, use MDT. MDT stands for Microsoft Deployment Toolkits. MDT. With the Windows deployment services to automate most of the deployment, including applications, device drivers, and updates. Right? For example, what drivers is required. For example, that one doesn't have updates, right? Because this is a new, other one has already updates. So if you have a one customized image, we can deploy in this way. Zero touch deployment, use MDT with configuration managers to deliver a fully automated deployment. Like everything can be inside the image, and there's a automated process to deploy that image as well. Bring your own device, use MDM solutions such as Microsoft Intune to deploy and manage configurations and apps on user-owned devices. Deployment tools, we have DSM, capture, deploy, service, manage, and Windows image. DSM is one of the tools. This kind of tools you'll be able to download from online. This is not part of Windows 10. This is a Microsoft free tools. Windows SIM, create unattended installations, answer files. Windows PE, minimal operating systems used in Windows deployment. Windows Configuration Designer, create provisioning packages. USMT, which is a user state migration tools, migrate the user settings. These are the tools we have. Then more tools such as volume activation management tools called VAMT is a graphical tool used to automate and manage activations of Windows. So these tools, many companies they're using these tools. Windows Performance Toolkit, produce in-depth performance profiles of operating systems and apps. Applications Compatibility Toolkit, ACT, evaluate and mitigate applications compatibility issues. Microsoft Assessment and Planning Toolkit, agentless tool that provides detailed readiness assessment report on devices. Windows Analytics Update Readiness, so collects data to identify potential update issues. Desktop Deployment Centers, collections of resources for deploying Windows 10. So basically all these tools, there are free tools that can be downloaded from online, and then after that to use these tools there's the specific guidelines. So these tools can be used to automate. So especially all these tools, they can be used for deployment purposes. After that, for example, this is using for activations, like product key you need to active, because if you install hundreds of PC, they need a product key, right? Activations key. So with that you can deploy it. This one performance testing tools, this one compatibility testing tools. For example, whether say particular applications will run over there or not. This is called map tools. With that, this is also free tools. With that, you can check whether your device is ready to install something or not. So this sort of tools is used in the industry. They are all free tools. There will be specific guidelines to use those tools and can be downloaded from Microsoft sites. And user state migration tools stores and migrates data and settings to another computers, user accounts, user files, operating system settings, application settings. All these things can be used. These things can be used under USMT, and with that you can migrate that